I love Rob Beckett. Without question, he's one of my favourite comedians. He never fails to make me laugh. And I was looking for a new comedy show to watch, and I discovered Rob Beckett's Savage Socials. Kind of like the sound of it, so I thought I'd check it out. And unfortunately, while it's not terrible, there are some very positive things about it. It just it didn't feel like something I would continue to watch. This was originally broadcast in 2019. I believe there have been two series of this so far, a total of 10 episodes. And I'll read the description from IMDb. I think this gives you quite a good overview of what you can expect. And this says comedian Rob Beckett takes a look back at the most interesting online content of the past week. From embarrassing celebrity Instagram posts to cringeworthy news stories, all will be the subject of Rob's savage feed. Now, it does sound quite interesting. Do I want to see celebrities being made fun of by one of my favourite comedians? Sure, yeah, absolutely. Unfortunately, Channel 4 have not really done much with this. It's not interesting, and there are several reasons. First of all, no audience. Not in front of a live studio audience. It's not, it doesn't feel personal. Rob Beckett, for the most part, is not on screen. It's mostly narrated, which, the voiceover I can understand because there are a lot of clips on screen, but I couldn't help comparing this to BBC's Russell Howard's Good News, which is a show I loved, and Russell Howard was in front of an audience talking about the week's events and then cutting to a clip or a photo or whatever to illustrate the anecdote he was sharing. And this misses that personal touch because Rob's not on the screen. For the most part, you don't really feel like he is there walking you through things. He's not making eye contact with the camera. There's no real personal relationship between the viewer and the show. And I think that that's something that Good News did very well. This is obviously a kind of celebrity-fied, slightly modernised version of Good News. And this Savage Socials just doesn't do that at all. Obviously, Rob Beckett's got an absolutely fantastic charisma, and even though I think the voiceover is a missed opportunity to have Rob in front of the camera with his, he's not a visual comedian. There are people such as Milton Jones who work well because of the way they look and their very flamboyant style and the way they present themselves. Rob Beckett, not completely, but he does have a kind of cheeky, boyish grin, and that works really well for humour. But his charisma and his style of humour still does come across in the voiceover. Something I did like was the editing. I think the editing on this is very, very good. It's very engaging. So even when Rob's not on screen, it's not like what we're looking at is dull. The transitions between clips works well. The way they integrate things like Twitter and Instagram and make it all look like we're actually looking at those web pages, it works really well. This is easy viewing. This is not something I could sit down and watch. If I think of things like Mock the Week or Good News or Have I Got News for You, other shows that look back at the week, usually I will sit down and watch it and be fully engaged. With Savage Socials, it's background fluff. It's atmosphere. If I happen to catch something out of the corner of my eye that makes me smile, fantastic. But to be honest, the clips that were shown in this first episode, and that's all I've seen, I am just discussing the first episode, they were not very good. The celebrity clips I thought were quite dull. They didn't speak to me. Maybe if I was 10 years younger, I kind of feel like if you're the target audience for what was BBC 3, I know this is Channel 4, but it kind of feels like a BBC 3 audience kind of show. And I loved BBC 3 back in the day. So if you're that kind of audience, I think you might really like it. If you follow the celebrities that are being kind of mini roasted, you might like it. There are also some people clips. There are some clips of ordinary everyday people as well betwixt the celebrity posts. But while it's a technical achievement, visually it's stunning. It works very well. The voiceover script for this is relatively engaging, but it could be better. There could be a real audience, a live studio audience. Rob Beckett could be on screen a lot more, which would make it a lot more personal and engaging. For me, the clips weren't that funny or entertaining, but I am aware that there is an audience for that. So I'm not going to continue watching this. I might occasionally dip into it when I'm in the mood for Rob Beckett, which happens quite a lot. I will admit that. He's absolutely fantastic. But I'd rather watch 8 out of 10 Cats, Countdown, or something else he's done. This is not a bad show, but I don't think it will have wide universal appeal. I think it's got a very specific target audience, and as long as it feeds that audience what it's looking for, that's fine. But unfortunately, Rob Beckett's Savage Socials just isn't the show for me.